What's up, guys? 6 Foot Ben, and I'm gonna go over the Poor Boy Tech again, just because my first video, I've changed things a little bit since then. So first you're gonna need your big pot like this that will fit your jars in. So as long as your jars will fit in there, it's fine. And if you have a tight lid for the steaming, so you can steam your bottles or steam your jars. I also have this cheap pressure cooker I got. It doesn't heat up to the proper PSI, but since I'm using rice, it will work for that because steaming will work. So you can use either one. Both are going to be the same time, but anyway, let me get started here. So I put enough rice to fill my 3 pasta sauce jars I have that I'm going to use. And what I did with these is I punched 3 holes in them and covered them with porous tape, medical tape. Now, a couple of these I actually put silicone, clear silicone, in one of the holes, okay, and I'll use that as an injection port. The jars I don't have silicone on, I just use those for grain to grain transfer. So anyway, let's get started. So we're going to start out by rinsing your rice in the sink. You're going to rinse it for about 5 minutes. You just want to get as much of the extra starch off as you can. And in the meantime, you want to get a pot on the stove boiling, okay? So, I don't know how to edit videos, so I guess it'll just flip to another scene in a second. So, here we go. Alright, so my rice has been rinsing while this pot's been starting to boil, so I'm going to go ahead and put my rice into the boiling water, okay? So, and it goes as much as I can in there. And we're going to let this boil we're going to let it boil for 4 minutes. I'm going to do, okay? 4 minutes seems to be about right, because that gives it time for the water to return to its boil, and then it boils it for 3 minutes. So let's get that started, and I'll be back. Alright, so my rice has been rinsed, and I poured it in my pot, and I let it get back to a boil, and then I'm going to start my timer. As soon as it starts boiling again, I'll start it. I'll start it for 3 minutes. Now, 3 to 4 minutes is fine. So if you go a little bit over, it's fine. I just don't like to get up into the 6-minute mark like I used to do, because the rice will it gets too cooked. And so anyway, yeah, just we're gonna do this for 3 minutes on a high boil. Okay. I'll be back when that gets done. Alright, guys, and I also forgot, I always recommend a cold beer because they're good and I like them. So you don't have to do it. And our rice is boiling. It's been 3 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and pour that into the strainer. Alright, so I'm going to set you right over here for a second. Hot shit. And this strainer. Probably be a little bit of rice left over in there. So we'll do a quick rinse. Pour it in there. Get as much of the rice as I can. And then what we're going to do is we're going to let this sit in here. And, you know, every once in a while, like, shake it off a little bit. I don't want a lot of water on it, but, well, actually I do. So, you know, just let it sit there for a second to just drain a little of the excess water off. But I want it to be wet when I put it in the jars, and that's because with the steam, it actually will help it absorb a little bit more water. And I don't know the whole science of it, man, but this is how I do it, alright? So, get yourself a nice spoon. This one's a great one. It's like a shovel. And then we're just going to scrape it, or we're going to scoop it into our jars, leaving about, like, you know, a little bit of room at the top so we can shake it later when we need to. So when I get them full, I'll come back. Alright. Alright guys, so these are the jars, and I loaded them in there, the rice in there hot and wet, alright, after 3.5 minutes of boiling. I left a little extra room on these because I'm going to do a grain to grain transfer, or rice to rice transfer, which means I'm going to take this jar, I'm going to break it up, and I'm going to pour a little bit in each of these jars, and that will colonize. And this jar, since I have an ejection port with the silicone on the top, I'm going to use that for a spore syringe. So now what we're going to do is I put some tin foil or jar lids, whatever it takes to keep your jars elevated out the bottom a couple inches, and then we're going to put our jars in. Oh, sorry. We're gonna cover the lids with tin foil. Sorry, forgot about that. That would have been bad. And what this does is this keeps the steam from going into your holes on the top, so you don't get them filled up with water. And then you're gonna put a tight lid on top of it, and you're gonna steam it for 90 minutes. All right. So when we're done with that, I'll show you how I do a grain to grain transfer and stuff like that. And yep. So I hope that helped you a little bit more than my last video, because I did change the time. I think I said 6 minutes in my first one. So yep, good luck, much love, and that's how you do it. And I'll do a video on how to spawn my rice to bulk substrate later on too for you guys. Alright. Alright everybody, if you did your jars right, it should be hot as fuck. And your rice should shake freely. If it doesn't shake freely, you did something wrong. So go ahead and inoculate them like you would any other grain jar, and that's it. So yeah, here you go.